We are back. We are live with Random Rules number 3. What a feat. We made it to number 3. Thank you, everyone who's tuning in today. It looked like there was going to be a good few viewers today. Mark clearly has some fans. We're here with Mark Schwaber from Weston, Massachusetts. He will be performing some live songs in between the video segments that we have. So we're going to be airing videos tonight from Caliphone and from Tidy. And to start things off, we're going to play one of Mark's videos. This is The Pressure It Feeds.
Message body: The Pressure It Feeds by Mark Schwaber from the 2006 LP The Killing Card.
Scared of all disease, fear it just waits, just sits there and breathes. Glaring through bars, its eyes fixed and deep. I can't run away, paralyzed sleep. But a losing bet I made. The animals uncaged, a killer killing fate. The message I wrote has been written down, bottled up and thrown. Smashed yet received, a crippling remote to change everyone from better off to love. Of all the wars I've ever battled through, this is the one that conquers all my days.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
How's it
From
going?
the 2006 LP
It's
The
going
Killing
really well.
Card,
Thank you so much.
Flooded McDonald's. Created by
I
Propeller
feel,
Co. Productions.
I feel like I just interrupted the end of the video. That was wild. What was the budget on that video, Mark?
You know, it's funny. I don't know. That video was made by, I think, a fan. But the imagery, the slow flooding of the McDonald's. One, I might be wrong about this, but one, it's not a McDonald's. It's actually a set that was built to look like a McDonald's, which they did an alarmingly good job with, if that part is
Yeah.
true. And it was, I believe, I shouldn't speculate as to which country, but an Asian artist, like visual artist who lives in Denmark. Just that was a kind of an installation piece that he had, and he liked that song, so he put those images together, and then some other fan put that kind of, for lack of a better term, anonymous coded voice intro and outro over it. So I don't know what the budget
Yeah.
was. For me, it was 0, which is kind of nice.
They built a whole
Um,
set. It may have been even more than I was thinking. I was just thinking, what's the cost to flood a McDonald's? But if there's a whole set,
Right.
then we're talking.
Yeah. Yeah, I must have that. Yeah, I'd love to connect with him. I don't know why I have never. I've never tried to reach out to him, which now that I haven't, first of all, I haven't heard that song all the way through in a long time. So that was kind of fun. And yeah, I should connect with him to see exactly, see if I can find out some more details. I love the idea though. I love the idea that you know what's happening and you know how it's going to end, but you still kind of remain engaged every step of the way. I think it's really
Totally. The colors are so good. And yeah, it was a very captivating video for such a simple concept. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're out there, artist who made this, reach out to Mark.
Cheers. Cheers to the artist who
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
Please do. I'd love to speak with him at further length about it. I'm a big fan.
Awesome. So what songs are you going to play for us today?
So I figured I'd do a song that's new to the world and relatively new to me, called Murder Suicide, which is going to be on a forthcoming record, which we can talk about in a little bit. And then I figured I'd do a song called Over It, which was on a record that I put out called White Flood. So I'll do those.
Cool. Yeah. We'll leave it
Sweet.
to you then.
Thank you. I guess I'm not a good friend. Don't send signals of distress. I won't call you, I won't show. And I don't know why I wrote all the love and all the trust. I guess I don't know who I am. And I don't really have a plan. I'm just no good at life. And when we picked our masks for the robbery, I got Jester Gacy. Why suffer the clown? Just play the fool. And I know why those masks hit too close to home. Too close to home. They say murder, suicide, but I'm just laughing at your tide. 'Cause I can't pay for this shit anymore. I'm just trying not to lie, to protect and dignify my slow trip into the gray. and I don't really have a say. Guess I'm just no good life. And when we picked our masks for the robbery, I got Jester, Casey White, suffer the clown, just be a fool. And I know why those masks hit too close to home. Too close to home. I guess I'm not a good friend. Don't send signals of distress. I won't call you, I won't show. Doctors don't know why I wrote. They say disassociation. I guess that sounds kind of right. 'Cause I don't really have a plan. Guess I'm just no good at life. That was Murder Suicide. This is called Over It. The chance that I could do something wrong just never seemed to cross your mind. So much easier for you to hide than it ever was for me to stay and fight. So fuck it, I'm over it. The chance that you could do something wrong just never seemed to cross my mind. It's always easier for me to hide than it ever was for me to stay and fight. So fuck it, you're over it. So fuck it, I guess we're over it.
Thanks a lot, Mark. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Beautiful.
That murder suicide is coming out soon, hey?
It is, yeah. That's going to be the first single off a record that's coming out in the fall. The single comes out at the beginning, second week of May. And we'll have a follow-up single. I think it's sometime in August. Could be a little bit wrong about that. And then the full length should be out at some point in the fall on Jack London Records, which is really exciting for me.
Yes. Represent for
Yes.
everyone who we should probably just tell people that's Justin's record label right there. Is this your third release, Justin?
Yeah, I think about the third release.
Yeah.
We've got a 7-inch coming out with Mark. That's the first physical one.
Yes.
Awesome.
And that will be the second single. So that'll be sometime in the late summer. It's really exciting.
Evil Valentine.
How about you, Mark? I was flicking back through Bandcamp. You've been playing music a long time. Hey, what's your how long you been doing this? How many records have you put out in your career?
I think it's 7. I think with no, that's not right. I don't know. It's like it's 5. It's 6. I think this is going to be 7 under my own name, 6 or 7. And but I've been in bands for years before that, and where I was the main or one of the main songwriters, and have releases with some of those bands. And I also have worked with a number of other artists in studios, and then as a touring musician for many years. So it's been, I guess, at this point, 30 years that I've been doing it professionally to some degree. Started playing in a hardcore band, so the beginning of it was AMVETs and VFWs.
Yeah, awesome. A true DIY, path to a music career.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always an ebb and flow. I think the long running accepted thing about being a musician is that I've played to just the sound man and all that stuff, and now I'm here. Well, there's never really a here in most people's careers. It's always this. You can really get to these really great places, but you seem to always return in some sense. Maybe not to the single sound man show, but so it's been fun. It's a roller coaster in a healthy way.
Totally, that's cool. I actually haven't asked you yet where in Western Mass you're from. I've spent a lot of time there. I'm kind of interested to know now.
Really, I'm from Westfield, Mass. originally, and I lived in East Hampton, Mass. for 20 plus years, more or less. I was gone for a little bit, but and now just this past fall, my wife and I bought a house here in Greenfield, Massachusetts. So kind of right up the river, basically.
You used to have a record store. You used to have a record store, right, Mark?
Yeah, in East Hampton called Night Owl Records. We were open from 03 to 08. That was really great. I definitely cherish those times, and I definitely feel for the people who still have businesses like that right now in the world that we're in. It's I actually am doing my best to buy records from my friends that still have record stores because it's still safe mostly to go to postal service and mail things. So trying to stay with that. Platypus Records in East Hampton, and who's one of my oldest, dearest friends, mentor. He's been doing this forever, and he's just the best. Electric Eye, I got to get in touch with my old friend Andy from Speaking of the Hardcore Punk Rock Days. So there's a lot of great people in this area. We have a record store in town, John Doe Records. Just doing everything I can to help.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, and there's a bunch of like curbside pickups happening at record stores. And I think I saw maybe a record store in LA was doing like record of the day, and they were like doing some pretty good sales through that. I don't want to go on record with the name because I don't even remember which one it was, but it seems like record stores are being quite resourceful through all of this, which is really awesome to see.
That's so great. I mean, people are relying on art now maybe more than ever in modern society, at least since the turn of the 20th century, I would think. Our days are spent hopefully immersed in some form of it. So I'm glad that that's happening.
Yeah, likewise.
So should we play another
Justin, do you
video?
want to
Vancouver, by the way,
introduce?
I want to move to Vancouver. By the way, that was one of the cities that I always wanted to move to. Sorry, I just talked over everybody.
Well, you have a friend here now. You let me know.
Excellent. I'll take you up on that.
Cool, absolutely. Justin, go for it. Introduce the next video.
Yeah, so we've got Caliphone with Snow Angel V2.
Solar flare, silent as a snow angel. Red gold beach falls from the tree without witness. Given to ecstasy is never to become or to be.
I love that song and that video so much. That was Snow Angel V2, which I can only guess stands for version. That song was actually the whole album that just came off an album called Echo Mine, which was released by Jealous Butcher Records very recently. And the whole album is a composition that the dancer there, I think either her name or the choreographer's name is Robin Mineko. It was a whole dance, and the whole album was the soundtrack to the dance. And they did the whole performance in Chicago a month or so ago. Super cool project. And you can buy it at caliphonemusic.bandcamp.com. I own it. I recommend it. It's very good.
Nice.
Mark, you wanna play some more songs there?
Sure. I just want to echo your sentiments. I was really moved by that. I have a lot to think about with that. It was really beautiful, and so thank you for sharing that. I'd be buying it right.
It's so simple, but so good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess I could just, instead of playing songs, I'm just going to talk about that video for the next 10 minutes, which I could do. But
We'll do a spin-off show. We'll get you back on a spin-off show where there's no music, just talking.
Yes, rambling, talking.
Rambling about videos.
What's that?
Just rambling about videos.
Yeah, rambling about videos. That's not a bad idea. Okay. So this song is from a record that I put out in 2006 called The Killing Card. The song is called The Torture Ground. Enemies of eloquence have strangled all the victory charades and cloud the better days. They pass right through my better self. They're lonely, lost, and looking for their way to kill the boy inside on the torture ground. Building that we trap ourselves in every hour of every other day. It's brooding and inane. Better through our better selves. Looks so bad from every other way. It kills the boy inside on the torture ground. Help me, I am fading fast. Left for dead by table turning snakes. Slide away from graves. Help me, I am fading fast. Help me, this is more than I can take. Help me kill the taste of the torture ground. The torture ground. Help me kill the taste of the torture ground. The torture ground. Help me kill the taste of the torture ground. The torture ground. It's a song called The Torture Ground. With a rather suspect second verse. I worked with Lloyd Cole for a long time, and which I'm really thankful for. He taught me so much, and one of the things that I learned from him early was that if you ever play a show and don't make a mistake, it's probably a tribute act. So this song is going to be on the next record. It's not the second single. I'm going to save that one for maybe another time. But it'll be on the next record called Everything Around Me. It's a true story about some people who are struggling with addiction. And it's called Firefighters. Stephen's with his sister psychiatrist. She's only here for the meds. Steph as he went to confess in the bath. Leave him alone. He's just sad. Leave him alone. Stephen can't stop hitting on firefighters, making these jokes about holes. Stephanie fought for a week last Christmas with anyone she could hold. Make him try to care what you say. Make her try to care what you do. Stephanie says her prayer to St. Patrick. She doesn't know how it goes. Stephen's got needles and cigarettes, Father. Perhaps he'll find his way home. Make him try to care what you say. There's a path. Where does it go?
Nice. That was great, Mark. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I especially liked the first one you did. They were both great, but the first one, that lead guitar hook thingy was. I haven't heard that one on your records yet, so I will be looking for that post broadcast.
Nice. Yeah, it's one that seems to still draw people in. I guess there's charts that no musician should ever look at, right? Where you can look at your own streams and downloads and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
accidentally, I do that sometimes. And
That one's still working for him.
Yeah, it seems to like span the test of time. It actually does really well, and it does better in every country other than the U.S., which is interesting. So
Weird.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll move to Vancouver.
Yeah, like I said, there's a beer on me. I'm interested to know something I've experienced with my own songs is the lyrics meaning changes a lot over time, and my little hobby career is not nearly as long as yours is. So I'm interested to know if there's songs that are kind of, however old, that like me are still like super potent to you, but maybe in a different way now.
Yeah, there are. That's actually it's a significant question to ask right now in the stage of that I personally am in writing. Um, the new record that I have coming out is written primarily around the grief and cycle of losing my mother last year, and also kind of a topography of how depression manifests for me. So, in looking through songs that I had, there was two that are on the record. There's one called On Fire and there's one called Windows Up that I had written over 15 years ago that were about entirely different things and ended up really being something that spoke really strongly to dealing with those issues that I mentioned before. So yeah, actually that I don't know if it was ever really the case until this though. So I feel like there are songs that for me that I write are definitely little portraits. They're not necessarily portals that definitively draw me back every time I play them, but if I actually stop and listen to them, like listening to the pressure that it feeds at the front end, I'm reminded of that moment in my life and where I was. But yeah, this phenomenon of altering what you've once created has become a new thing for me. So I can definitely identify with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. It's interesting. I noticed, I think I'm covering it right now, but there's an Elliott Smith record kind of like behind where my video is placed. Is that, I hear a lot of Elliott Smith in your stuff. Has he been a big influence? Any other influences you can speak to?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably the most significant influence. Let me rephrase that. He was the most significant influence in my songwriting. My songwriting, I mentioned before, came out of a hardcore scene, so it was really aggressive at first and really angry and distraught and anti-social and all things that I was living and experiencing that I've never really stopped living and experiencing in many ways. So, but I was raised on AM Gold, Paul Davis and America, and then Motown and some Beatles. So pop melodies were always the thing that interested me the most. That and orchestral works, soundtracks to films that I loved, and so I feel like with most artists, it's probably a long trip back to the beginning in a lot of ways. At least that's what it was for me. Of taking everything in and then having it come out, but he was the one person that came obviously quite late in that timeline, but was the most profound influence. I was lucky enough to play some shows with him, and yeah, I just he marks a this is a galvanizing moment in my life. I try to honor him rather than rip him off because he does such specific things that I don't do, but the approach I think is really similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very
Oh,
cool.
other
You
influences.
played with him. That's.
You asked me about.
I did
Yeah.
ask you about other influences. Yeah, go for it.
So I was a really big jazz fan when I was young. Was turned on to Miles Davis and John Coltrane and Bird and Sonny Rollins and Dexter Gordon, Cannonball, and so I was pretty immersed in that for a long time. And and then there was, before that there was punk rock, or just before that, and hardcore. So the standard fair stuff. I first heard Fear, and that was the band that kind of altered everything for me. And got into, Dead Kennedys and Minor Threat and the things that teenagers do. I started playing guitar because of Eddie Van Halen, though. So I sat and learned a million notes. Who I still love.
Yeah,
still
I saw you.
people.
I saw you tapping on your acoustic guitar in that
No.
last song.
It's ridiculous. It's the first time I've ever done that. Ever. I was like, you know what? I want to play the solo as it is. I usually don't really care much about that, but I really do. And I can't not play the last two notes in the octave in which they're written. So you know, I'm 47 years old. I'm going to tap acoustic guitar. So, that's okay. So yeah, and then I think that the influences that most people my age would have, especially growing up in a very rich indie rock community, which kind of was the post-punk thing in Western Massachusetts with Sebadoh and Dinosaur, and worked with Lou for a long time, off and on with different things, and lifelong pal. And yeah, so Nirvana obviously changed the landscape and opened up the whole world to the kind of music that a lot of us were already really immersed in. So those are all influences for sure.
Can Western Mass claim Sonic Youth as well, or would that be a stretch? They were based in Northampton briefly, right?
Yeah, actually, Kim still live here. One of the two of them still lives here, either Kim or Thurston.
Cool.
They moved here, I think, in the mid '90s or maybe late '90s. I don't think we can claim them though, man. They're such a New York band. Like they're.
I know they reek of New York City. Hey.
They sure do. I mean, and thank God. I mean, it's like Lou Reed obviously got a little older and just became this new version of Lou Reed, which is really still brilliant. But somebody needed to kind of continue that chaotic and take it to the next step. And
yeah,
they were clearly the band that did that. So
totally. Cool. Well, I think we're kind of getting ready to wrap up here. Before we do so, wanted to give you the floor just to mention anything that people can go and listen to once they're done here. Make sure you plug Justin's record label.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, I'll say that I have Bandcamp is the best way, I think, for any artist these days. One of the best ways for any artist to get their stuff out there. They're really fair to artists. So I have a Bandcamp page, markschwaber.bandcamp.com. And there's all kinds of stuff on there, digitally and tactilely. And the record that's coming out, we have a hard copy of a 7-inch coming out in the late summer, of a song called Evil Valentine. And we have a digital single coming out on May 16th, which we're hopefully going to put together some streaming shows for. We had a whole lineup date set up for that on the East Coast. Unfortunately, that's not going to end up happening. So maybe I'll play in a different room in my house every night, like with a poster of New York behind me.
Yeah.
Wherever I was supposed to be.
Green screen.
But we'll figure something out. Yeah, exactly. Green screen it and play at the Empire State Building. So there'll be something happening in the second week of May where it'll be pretty fun. And then in the fall, we'll be releasing the full length on vinyl and CD and cassette for the kids. Kids are cassette crazy again. I'm really excited about it. It's called Everything Around Me, and it's on Jack London Records, Justin's label, who's, I know he's sitting right here, but this is the best experience the best experience. I've been doing this a long time. Super hands-on, always gracious, always asking if we need anything on this end, if I need anything, and comes through with so many things. And we also have a video that we're shooting with a young, talented person from the area on this end. We had it all mapped out until the world changed. So we're going to try to still create something good for the second single, Evil Valentine. And I'm in this terrible moment in life, I'm a happy guy with this. This is like the thing that I couldn't be any happier about. So thank you both. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Adam. Thank you both for having me. It's been a lot of fun doing this. It's my first one of these. I've never done this.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh,
Thanks
that's
for coming
exciting.
home.
Thank you for coming. Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
Cool. Well, next week, thanks everyone for tuning in. Next week we have we're featuring Marina from a band in LA called Shunken. I just got confirmed very briefly before the show, so details to follow. But I believe she's watching, so hey Marina, look forward to meeting you next week. Justin, anything else before we play our last video?
No, I think that's it.
Sweet. Follow us on all the socials. We're at Random Rules TV. We're just getting started here. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah.
This is MWI by a band in Vancouver called Tidy.